KTN News. On Monday, we started our 47 days of accountability, looking at the spending, what has gone wrong in the counties here in the country, all 47 of them. And so we began with Kisumu, and today we want to take a look at Kiambu. There are quite a number of issues that were raised by the Auditor General, and so we just want to take a look at them. But what Kiambu County government has done, it has already come out to respond to some of these allegations, and so we'll be putting, the responses that the county government has, of course, brought forward. That was yesterday in regards to some of the allegations that have been leveled against the county government. All right, so let's start with this. There were issues, and I'll mention and I'll list them down. 30,053 prime plot stalls have zero rates, and that was a question that the Auditor General had. How come these prime plots have had zero rates over long periods, actually very, very many years? And another issue is that there's accumulated land rates arrears of 2.6 billion shillings, which accounts for about 26% of the total allocation. That was another issue that was raised by the Auditor General. Another one is that 2,870 properties with no physical addresses. And lastly, 78.4 million house rent arrears by June 30th, 2015. And so there are issues to do with land, to do with some of the rates that have been put at zero, and there are questions around that. And so this is what the Kiambu government has come out to respond. First of all, they admit that the auditor's observation is true, demand notices issued to defaulting candidates, a waiver on interest on rates arrears given, and the KRA helping collect some of these revenues. So they are coming up with the solutions, but they admit indeed that the auditor's observation is true about some of the things that I've listed down about the zero rates on about 30,053 prime plots, and that also 2.6 billion shillings of accumulated land rates, and also the 2,870 properties with no physical addresses, and then that other amount, 78.4 million shillings house rent arrears, and that was by June 2015. All right, so that was just one of the issues. Let's continue on and just take a look at the other allegations and what they have responded. So this one is valuation of property for rating purposes, and the county government inherited current valuation rules from defunct council. So that is how the county government is defending itself. The preparation of updated value rules is currently ongoing. All right, so that is what the county government has come to say, that the preparation of updated valuation rules is currently ongoing, and that they actually inherited the current valuation rules from defunct councils which were there before the devolved system of governance. All right, let's move on to the next board there. And this one is all about the supply of 8 milk cooling tanks. So first of all, let's just take a look at the allegations. So what the Auditor General has come out to say is that there was 28.4 million shillings contract for milk cooling tanks. And this contract was awarded to Dairy Systems and Services Limited May 2015. And so the issue is that the 5 coolers have not yet been installed or tested, and that was by November 2015. By the end of that year, there was still nothing that had been done. The 5 coolers that were agreed on by the county government and the contractor, the person who was awarded the contract, had not yet been installed. So what does the county government say? Beneficiaries had not completed renovation of premises, so that's the reason that they're giving. And then the equipment have now all been delivered to the sites and tested. All right, so the county government, they're coming out strong to defend itself, in regards to these allegations of money that was given, but then there's no, the milking cooling tanks still not delivered even after there was payment of that. All right, so I understand that is the last one. But of course, there are other issues of excess procurement of goods. And I'll mention just one or two. 18.4 million goods, both for the health department in June 2015. Now, the problem with that is that the goods were still lying in the store by November. You can imagine that, there was 18.4 million shillings given for the goods, by the health department in June 2015, but by November, the goods were still lying in the store and had not been delivered to the places where they needed to be delivered to. The other issue that is of serious concern is about the Kiambu Level 4 hospital. There was that neurosurgery ward. There was 11.7 million shillings that was used to upgrade the ward in 2013, between 2013 and 2014. And so months down, the facility is still not being used, yet there was already monies that were put in place and that were given to upgrade the ward back in 2013 to 2014. But November 2015, that facility is still not being used. So what happened? Money was paid, but still the residents of Kiambu County are not getting these services. All right, so let's just take a look at some of the other responses that they've given. And this one is in regards to excess procurement of goods. Excess procurement of goods. Now, the issue, the government, county government has come out really, really strong. Remember, that was the 18.4 million shillings that I was talking about. Goods both by the health department in June 2015. And the goods, as much as the amounts were paid, the monies were paid, the goods up until November 2015, that's like how long? That's like about 9 months down, the goods were still lying in the store. So this is what the county government had to say: no excess procurement of goods amounting to 18.3. So they're basically saying that's not true. And beneficiary facilities were being rehabilitated at the time of audit. Therefore, maybe that's why they're saying that the goods still are lying in the store. So this means that, you know, some of these services that should be enjoyed by residents of Kiambu County are still, you know, they're still so far-fetched. So this is the issue I was talking about, the neurosurgery ward. The facility is functioning and is operational, but according to the auditor report, this is not true. The auditor report says that the facility was not being used as at November 2015. So maybe, you know, this year, that's why they're saying that the facility is now functioning and is operational. 47 neurosurgery operations have been done. And so the county government of Kiambu has really come out strong to defend itself. But of course, on other matters, they have admitted that there were oversights, and they're looking into correcting them. So that, of course, is 47 days of accountability here on KTN News. We continue with that coverage tonight on KTN Prime, and therefore you can look out for that. Remember that we're also following on the developments that are taking place in Isebania. We understand that the situation there has escalated. There's a night shooting there yesterday. Those are live pictures coming to us. Yesterday there was a shooting in which one person died and another person was injured. And so today the residents of that part of Isebania have come out real strong, and they're asking for action because they say that these security situations have been so many and so rampant over the last couple of months, and we'll be keeping you updated on that developing story. All right, so let's now go back to Kiambu County. And earlier yesterday, KTN's Marimi Mwangi went to Kiambu County, where residents have mixed diagnosis of just what ails their county. Well, just take a look at this report.
The sights and sounds of the county, ranked in a 2015 World Bank report as the richest in Kenya, Kiambu County. Wealth clearly visible in the expanding real estate and increasing influx of rental clients seeking accommodation and business premises across all major towns in the county. But the Auditor General's review of the Kiambu 2014-2015 financial records has painted a rather grim picture, that of a county that had lost up to 2.6 billion shillings in ground rent and land rates arrears and penalties, a grand loss of revenue which the Auditor General blamed on the lack of physical addresses for some 2,870 properties in the county government system.
Hizi buildings zinatokezea, I think there would be enough, hizo rates zikilipwa, there would be enough to improve the services of the county. Wakuwe wana monitor hawa watu kama utilization yao ni sawa, lakini to it until the end of the year, then comes such a report. Wakuwe wana, there's some other forces.
I mean, we all learn through mistakes. And that's why we have internal audit systems that audit us in terms of what we are doing now and what we need to be able to change so that in the future we do not have these problems.
Mimi ni mtu wa kawaida. And pay the taxes. Bona yule mtu anasema tuseme ni landlord, wana businessman and business ladies, bona hawalipi juu ni only corruption peke yake. Yeah, that's the big issue.
But the Auditor General also raised an alarm over an even more serious ghost that of some workers sharing bank accounts, pointing to the possibility of ghost workers in the county. In August this year, Kiambu Governor William Kabogo told a meeting of Kenyans in Eastern London that his administration is digitizing its systems as a long-term measure to curb such internally instigated fraud, a vice which the report says is still ongoing.
Mwananchi wa kawaida anaendelea kufinyika juu sasa kama kitaksiwa na tena corruption iko juu pande ile ingine. Sasa unaona sasa hiyo hakuna balance. Inatakikana sasa yote iangaliwe pande zote mbili.
When we digitize Kiambu, we realized that the revenues that were being collected in the last financial year were probably 20% of what is collectible. So from December to June, we have managed to double our revenues through digitization.
But also captured in the list of unhealthy undertakings by the county government is procurement of medical and non-pharmaceutical items in excess of 18 million shillings. The Auditor General says the items were stored in a rather unhealthy store at the Kiambu Level 4 hospital. Yet some residents claim drugs are scarce in public hospitals. Being one of the most economically endowed counties in Kenya, Kiambu will no doubt be under the spotlight as the 2016-2017 budget-making process continues. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News.
All right, so we just want to bring in, of course, the response there. Just still taking a look at this audit report of Kiambu County. Remember that there was that excess procurement of goods that was talked about by the Auditor General, and it was the 18.4 million worth of goods bought by the Health Department in June 2015. And the issue was that the goods were still lying in the store by November 2015. And like you heard there, the governor says that the equipment and drugs that were in unsecure places have been distributed to these renovated facilities. And so all these goods that were bought for the Health Department are in use as we speak. All right, so that was the response by the county government, and you've heard there the governor speaking about that issue.